Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tarnation TV. Today's date will be May the 6th, 2025. My name is Blaine Donlin, joined by Rod Weston, and we are here to bring you this evening's broadcast live from Sonoma, live from the High Voltage Racing League, the Maverick Cup Series, race number 6. Rod, how you doing, man?
Not bad at all, not bad at all. I kind of like this track. I like road course tracks a little bit, but this is kind of one of my favorites. Other than, I think it's great what they're doing. They got the carousel in there. Man, when you come up over that corner on that carousel, does the car get a little bit light? So that's going to be a little hairy corner for everybody, but Sonoma's always been one of my favorite tracks.
So there's a few different versions of this track. We are running the long version, so is that what you were just talking about the carousel thing?
That's the carousel. So basically, instead of when they come out of, they got like, it's weird how they number the corners here. You got turn 1, you got turn 2A, and then you got turn B, then you got 3A, 3B. And normally you would come down the hill, all the way down to the bottom of the hill, take a right on, I believe it's called 7, or 6. Well, we don't do that. We get about halfway down that hill, and they take a sharp right, and they come around again, up over a little knoll and down the carousel, and that's a long sweeping corner that goes around off camber corner, so there's not a lot of grip there, and it comes down onto the drag strip, down the straightaway. They go down all the way to the end of the drag strip, off to the left a little bit, and it's a wide hairpin, and then back down through the S's.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. This is a fast track. I find it's a fast track, especially for being like a road course, and it seems like it's kind of tight, but man, like you can really push the track limits here too, like kick up a lot of dirt. I see a lot of sand flying around in the air. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun calling this thing. Last year's event was phenomenal, and tonight we've got 37 drivers connected to the race right now.
What's nice about Sonoma, different than some of the other road courses out there, it's not like Road America where you got a lot of long straightaways, a lot of throttle, and then you brake and you do this and that or whatever. This is what I like about it. It's almost like a short track of road courses. You don't really have too many straightaways. You're always busy, always fighting in it, always just pushing it down the edge. I just kind of like it, and of course it's got that kind of, granted you're turning right, but you got that kind of Martinsville corner in 11. I always just think that this place is a lot of fun to race. And like you said, it was a good race last year. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be here with you, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, very, very good. It was and the way they run the yellows here too is nice, because we're doing happy hour right now, a little bit of practice before we go. But yeah, the yellows here will be controlled. They always are every week, controlled by the administrators. So drivers are asked, if you take somebody out, let them get back to you. Just kind of be respectable, because they don't need to throw out 3 laps of yellow. That will not happen tonight. They'll maybe put it out for a little while, maybe 1 lap at the most, let everybody pit if they need to, stack up again, get going. So if you let the game run the yellows, it's going to be 3 laps no matter what, and that takes forever at a road course. So a lot of times leagues such as Maverick, they won't turn them on. They'll just kind of do a verbal thing. So the racing tends to be pretty awesome, because the guys who are really good at road courses will be out the front, and everybody kind of gets strung out a little bit. They're all allowed to kind of just race your own race. So unless there's a massive brouhaha somewhere, obviously they're going to throw a yellow if it's required. Cars are going upside down, but I doubt that'll happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, it runs like a short track, so you're going to get a little bumping and banging occasionally, especially in turn 11. Turn 7 is going to be kind of the same way. It's like a kind of a long hairpin, and there's a lot of braking zones in this. There's a lot of lifting and whatever. So yeah, there's going to be probably a few people that are feelings are going to get hurt, but like I said, if it's not a big crash, they're just going to keep it going, which will make it a quicker night instead of driving around under caution all night. Because this is, we're talking about just about almost 2 minutes to get around here with the carousel. They're getting down in the minutes 40s, but under caution, that could be pretty long.
It would take forever, yeah. To say the least, yeah. How many? Okay, wait. Let's check the schedule here. How many road courses are we running this year? So there we are now at Sonoma here on May 6th. Next week we'll be here at Kansas. We got Worldwide Tech, Charlotte, Milwaukee, Pocono, Road America. So we're going to Road America. And it looks like that's it.
Surprised they don't have Watkins Glen in there.
Yeah, most
Watkins
leagues
Glen is
do.
a different kind of track, too.
It is, yeah. That's another track that's got so many different variations. But anyway.
Yes, but it's more of a, believe it or not, it's more of a finesse track.
Mm-hmm. So as we do here every week at Maverick, we have a special Grand Marshal for this evening's event. And that would be Brock Beard from lastcar.info. So we'll let Brock give the call this evening. And of course, thank you, Brock, for sending in this audio clip. I found a picture of him thanks to his YouTube channel. Everything linked, of course. Check that out and watch this still frame, but listen to the MP3 because we're very highly sophisticated here at Tarnation TV. So thanks for watching.
Drivers, start your engines!
All right. Look at this field, man. I've never seen this many people.
A road course, too. You
Yeah.
have a lot of cars for a road course.
People are scared of road courses.
Some are.
I don't know why, because I have a lot of fun just playing this thing, really. And it's one of those.
Zachary Jobbers in the 84, Red Bull Chevrolet or Toyota. It is a Toyota, sorry. Took the pole. Josh Mercurial outside of him. C. Mendez. I think that's Corey Mendez or Chris Mendez. I'm not sure on that. I have to look it up. He is in the third position. Then D'Angelo the third. I knew his name, Victor, I believe it is.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, in a Dodge. Very few Dodges out there tonight. As there you are, headed down through the S's right now. Pace lights are off on the pace car. You got a little ways to go still. As I said, it's a long track.
I like where the pit entrance is located. Like you go into this final hairpin, this big sweeping hairpin at the end, and then you've got how the pits. You got to kind of get on that outside wall and run around there too, so that everybody you can't get away from that hairpin. Well,
No.
where's the commitment line? Because you're allowed to race through this thing.
Right
to that yellow line on the left.
The commitment line is once you get other side of that wall, you're committed.
Oh, is it?
You cut
Okay.
across, yeah, you can cut across that anytime you want if you don't like what's going on there. We have 24 drivers from the United States tonight, 2 from Argentina, 2 from Brazil, 2 from Colombia, 1's from Australia, 1 from Mexico, and 1 from Puerto Rico.
Wow.
9 Chevrolets, 9 Toyotas, 2 Fords, 4 Lexuses, 4 Fords, 3 Dodge, 2 Kias, that's the Snyder family, and 1 Cadillac, 1 Pontiac. Cadillac is on the outside in front. Oh, Josh Mercurial.
A little bit of a brouhaha at the top of the hill there, coming out of 1 and 2A or whatever you said.
It's very weird. They do the regular course, like not the long course. You get down the bottom of the hill, you just got out of 2B, and the next corner is 6. And you're like, but that's all because of the carousel. It takes that those corners are changed because of there's more corners in the carousel. So
There's the battle for second there. Carlos Mendez able to get around Josh Mercurio.
Zach Rogers, he got off to a really, really good lead. I'm not exactly sure, live, we won't be able to know the live feed till he hits the line there, but he's a good 10 car lengths ahead of the 34.
Yeah, he got a really good start.
Carlos
Yep,
Mendez,
Carlos
right?
Mendez.
Mendez, yeah. Nice looking car too that Carlos has got. Now they're
And
going
they're
to be going
running her
down
off into the dirt there. See that dirt?
It's not hard to do here, especially
Nope.
on that turn 10. You just come in there just a little bit hot. You'll go right off into that dust, and there's no traction. It just kind of slips and slides, and luckily you don't hit the wall, and you just get back on the track and get the dust off the tires and keep going.
On board with Mendez here, trying to trace down the leader, Zach Rogers. See what it looks like from these guys' point of view here. Sometimes you actually lose view of the track when you're going up and down these hills.
Yeah, especially if they're in the cockpit. Some drivers don't drive. A lot of drivers don't drive in the cockpit because they feel that it's, like you say, you can't really see as well. But what I like about it is you can. This is all a visual game. You don't. If anybody's ever driven your car in the wintertime and you hit a little patch of ice and the car don't turn, well, that's tight. And that you actually get to feel it in a race car a little differently. You're more in tune to that. And the same thing when you get on the gas in the snow, the back of the car kind of slips out behind you. Well, that's loose. In the cockpit, I feel in this environment where it's all visual, I feel that you can pick that up quicker, and it makes it you'll be able to feel the car getting loose or visualize the car getting loose or tight a lot quicker.
Right, it's a good combination of like the visuals, the audio, the force feedback in your wheel.
But it is hard, especially for new people to do it, to be in the cockpit, because it's really hard to judge and learn. You got to learn where everything is around you, and there's no real good mirror to see that or anything.
No, I mean I can see running cockpit here. There's a lot more space on a road course. Guys get strung out a little bit more. You're not 3 wide, 200 mile an hour. It's a little bit easier to run a cockpit here, hit your marks. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park probably has the worst blind quarter in the history of the planet Earth.
Yes.
Coming up over that right-hand hairpin downhill, it's like, oof, you thought Laguna Seca was back.
Josh Mercurio, outside pole sitters, sitting back in third there, going through the Keller cell. Lost a little time to Zach and Carlos, but he's still running smart. Now, in practice, when I went out there and just tried it out a little bit, as I come into the pits and got fuel, it said that you could do 18 laps. Now, mind you, I didn't do a full fuel run or anything like that. So, depending on how hard you run, I would say they could probably do 16 to 18 laps. Okay. Short shifting, stuff like that, you may be able to save a little bit more. We are doing 34 laps. So,
37.
Sorry, 37. Sorry, my bad. Number dyslexia kicked in. We got somebody, looks like Mercury down there off in the giggly weeds and after 10. But if they can go 18, I think it's going to be a 2-stopper, but some people may go for the 3-stopper. There again, too, is tires. How aggressive you are with the car, how much you burn the tires off, you may have to get tires before you do fuel.
That's the thing, yeah, being a road course, and you can see some of these guys are driving really hard. They're using the whole track. You might actually have to pit for rubber before you need to pit for fuel.
For my comfort, I thought that the setup was just a little bit snug. But it's kind of the way you have to have it. RJ Bishop, I don't know if he got punted or not through that little corner before you get to the carousel. Is off into the dust there. Had a lot of fun with RJ on Sunday there. That race was kind of funny. He won the first 2, but they didn't let him win the third one.
No. Yeah, that was the bash at Lonesome Pine over at SMO. That was just a demo derby, and yeah, they were not going to let him win that third race. They would have a real hard time.
It wasn't just one person. I mean, it was a lot of people that were giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a good time.
Now, I've got Keith Hughes on the scorecard, but he's not on the track. Interesting.
Victor D'Angelo, the third, one of the Dodges out there. It's a sharp-looking rig. Currently running around there in the 4th position. Everybody's just kind of minding their P's and Q's. And
yeah, everybody's doing a great job. You know, there's a little bit of a knot there in that first lap, but once everybody sort of found their spot, they've all sort of settled into it.
Was watching, just getting ready to talk about Trey Kingsley there, and he come up out of, I'd say we'd call that 3A, and he was
version 2.
3A version 2, 7.0. He was sideways coming off in that corner. He's not saving his rear tires very much.
That's a hot looking car too, that DHL paint scheme there. On the Toyota Camry. Going into turn number, I don't know.
7.
Okay.
And then you've got back in 6th position, Michael Norman, that's Seth Cole's compadre at Flat Out Racing. Always racing here. Getting a bit of curb there on the through the S's. It's fun to watch these guys sometimes when they go through the S's. That take a little bit too much. You come off there on 2 wheels.
That car will come right up off the ground too, which is really fun to watch these guys, just like you say, use that entire track, you know?
Yeah, if you do it right, you will. Benjamin Snyder just went a lap down. I'm not sure if he got caught up in something.
Oh, Kinsey, he saved it. Bounced her off the wall there right in front of Norman. This is a battle here. McKenzie in that 18 is in 5th. He is driving the heck out of that thing. He's driving her sideways. Yeah.
Back just out front, he is just, if you watch him, he just is smooth. He's not really, he's using all the track up. He's not, he's not being real ginger with it, but he's not sliding tires. He's not locking up. He's coming off the corners good.
And Victor Delgado the third in the 052, very, very smooth.
That's the thing. Now, pit stops. So when they get to that point, we still got, a ways to go to before they start pitting. Mm-hmm. Remember, we always talk about at like Talladega, how fast you can get into the pits, get down to pit road speed, get down there and kind of keep it right on that limit. Well, here, its pit road speed is 35 miles an hour, but it doesn't start until you get to the first pit stall. So you take the left, just before you go into 11, and you go around that corner. Now, you can't go through that corner wide open. You're going to smack the wall and damage the car, and it's not going to be a good thing. So you've got a bit of time right there where you can make up time if you can keep that thing going just fast as you can through there till you get to the 35-mile-an-hour pit sign, and then you got to keep it at that. And then coming out of the pits, one of the things, I'm not sure about this version, but I've seen it a lot with other versions, there is a blend line. So you cannot cross that blend line or you'll come in for a drive-through penalty.
Right, and some of those lines, they're just in spots where you're thinking, well, why did I get a penalty? It's like, hey, man, you crossed the line. You put half a tire over that line sometimes, and it'll give you a penalty. We've seen it happen on Talladega. You come out a little bit over that line, and it'll give you an unsafe exit penalty. There's Allison Rodrigo in the 43.
Zach Rogers, though, he's got about a good 6-second lead over Carlos Mendez. And Josh Mercurio, Josh is right on the back bumper of Mendez. He's kind of pressuring him a little bit, waiting for him to hopefully make a mistake, because there's not really a lot of passing areas throughout the whole track, other than like turn 11 and turn 7 are good places because people brake different. You might be able to outbrake them and get the inside of them, and you'll see that down there sometimes, just like what Carlos did that time. He came down off a 10 and kind of protected. He stayed a little bit lower just to try to protect that position, but Mercurio's going to get him on the outside. He's going to take over second place through turn 11.
We're just watching Zach put a couple of cars between him and Mercurio, lap down cars. Of who is that?
Matt McIntyre is one of the cars that he just currently passed.
Yeah, Danica Matthew. Let me see here. I gotta find it. Yeah, Danica Matthew in 98 who we're looking at right there. Cool looking Mobile One paint scheme on that deal too.
And that's the thing, though. You know, he just went a lap down to Zach Rogers. Zach Rogers, I've raced with him quite a bit, and like I said, he's one of those drivers that when you race him, it ups your game a little bit. He's very, very smooth. So they just got to do is just got to keep the car going forward. A log of laps. Things are going to happen to other people. You just got to do the best you can. No, I would. The corkscrew on this is I only think I've ever ran here one time with the corkscrew actually on the track, and it is a tough corner, and I lose too much time from the point I get out of 2B and then turn. You know, that right there from that point on all the way till I get to 7, I lose too much time. Just that different.
Yeah, I can't keep track of the versions of Sonoma. Which one launched in? Because it's in the original 2003 season.
I think it was in 2003, but I think it was in 4 maybe. I'd have to dig them back out and reinstall them to remember to really know for sure.
The original Sonoma.
One of the original ones did have the carousel.
Okay.
I know 2003 did. 2003 has always had basically the course that they run in the Cup Series now.
Oh, okay. The 96 there of Ulysses Sandoval running in 23rd. Matt Scully there in the 14. He's currently in 22nd.
Zach Rogers just put the 31 on Mantis Yankees. Say that right?
Matthias.
Okay, Matthias Yankees. Sorry about that, Matthias. It's a sharp looking. I like his car. Of course, I run the 31, so I got a little bias on that. But
yeah,
it's a sharp looking, sharp and rig. He's running currently back here in the 26. He's just went a lap down to Zach Rogers. So we're going. He's got a couple of tire marks on the side of it there, so he's rubbed up against somebody.
Yeah, Noah Wetzel there in the 49. We just got a lap down there by Rogers, putting on a clinic here tonight. He has a 9-second gap over second place.
He is just smooth as smooth can be.
Yep. Shows that John Godfrey actually got disqualified.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There's Christian Torres in the 4. Currently running 23rd position.
Something we really didn't mention too much, and there's only a couple of drivers I've heard from there. Is Maverick has a West Series, and they run basically the Cup. They call it the Cup, was in the East, because that's where Benjamin and them guys are. So they don't call it the East Series; they just call it the Cup Series.
The Cup Series, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple of drivers in here that are from the Cup. Crocodile Crump.
Crocodile Crump, I think, is the only one that actually started this evening, right there in the 9 and 20th spot right now.
He's in the 19. Normally he's in the
19,
17. Yeah. Normally he's in the 17, but due to a conflict with the potential of one of the West drivers that could be in here tonight, has a 17 as well. They elected just to throw him into the 19 for tonight.
Ah, okay.
Crocodile Crump was one of those guys that was there Sunday. Then we didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I think he had a lot of fun.
Yeah. And some other drivers. Let's see here. Did the 34 make it? Did
34s, yes.
34 make it on track tonight? Yeah, because it was Mendez, Carlos Mendez.
Yeah.
Ben was telling us before the race, the only two-digit, single-digit numbers to two-digit numbers, they've all been run. So 0
except for the 1
to 99, except for the number 1. The 01 has been run, the 07. Every other number had been run, except for the 34, until tonight. So there's the 34. As long as he made it on the track and started the race, the number 1 has not been in a race here at Maverick Cup Series. Ben keeps track of all this stuff. I don't even know how it comes up, but he's always got the coolest stats. He keeps track of all this. The Maverick Series has been around for a few years. Nobody's driven the 1 car. Of course, you can have, there's 1,000 possible numbers. You can go from 0 to 999. We're not counting those ones. We're just counting normal looking numbers.
0 to 999, plus you got the 01, 02, 03, then 001, 003.
Yeah, you have the whole 3-digit
So there's
zeros.
a lot of numbers that can be run. They've all been run, other than what they say is basically in the lower than 100 number. They've all been run except for the number 1.
Real numbers that NASCAR would run, like the 1 to the 99.
As broadcasters, Blaine, you run a 999 or something like. I run a 719 because my number is usually 19.
Yeah, when I run a broadcast, I'll go like 998 or something, so I know I'm not stepping on anybody's number.
Zachary Hall's sitting back here in the 8th position, still on the lead lap. He is about 30 seconds behind Zach. That doesn't, he's flying. Having a good race, just staying out of trouble.
Currently headed to the pits, actually, Zachary Hall.
Oh, yeah? Okay. So, 10 laps into it, we've had a few takers. I think most of the people that you saw earlier taking a pit stop was someone that may have had an episode where they spun or slid, and hurt their tires, so they figured, well, they might as well just go get tires and go back at it.
Right. Yeah, cars that I'm showing that have pitted: Benjamin Snyder, Mark Snyder, Matthias Yankee, Noel Wetzel, Dylan Young, and now we're watching Zachary Hall. Michael Norman.
The engine header broke.
Yeah. Okay.
Good little battle going on between Trey Kingsley and Jack Merkel, fighting for the 5th position. Jack got a good run off the carousel, got to the inside of him to turn 7, and taking over the lead, headed down through the S's. Good, clean pass. He just got a really good run off that carousel. Got up beside him. There was not much Trey could do.
Here's a replay of Norman. He may have missed a shift. Right there, I saw he lost a lot of speed right there. And then he just pulls over and calls a tow truck. Let's see if we can get inside the car here and see what happens to that speedometer, or to that odometer there. Oh, yeah.
I like Noah right in the chat. I prefer oval races. So do I. All track oval races.
So you can see here Norman.
Want to grab Norman, you said?
No, and then the thing just pops. Yeah, if you want to grab him, we can talk to him about that. I don't know if he missed a shift or if the thing just let go, but it grenaded on the 3/4 of the way around the track. Sir, I don't know the numbers of the corners. I think that was turn 7 you were talking about.
He disconnected, so before we could get to him, so
he's a fellow broadcaster too. He's like, yeah, he'd fill us in on some information. So unfortunately, Michael Norman has retired. The engine exploded. Christian Torres is also retired as well. There's Jack Merkel, door to door with Victor Delgado.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the 3-way battle there for.
Yeah. Looks like
we're third. Basically, they're all.
Third?
Jack Merkel just took 3rd. Now Trey Kingsley's well over the back bumper of Delgado.
Now looking up at the points. Oh, it's scrolling. We'll have to wait. Merkel's up there with Hughes, and Hughes isn't in the race tonight, so this is good for Merkel.
Well, that's right too. No Hughes tonight.
Yeah, he's on the list, but like, I don't understand that. That's really strange because he's in the list. At least he was in the list, in my driver list. There he is, Keith Hughes 82. But when I click on him, he's gone. So I don't know if he didn't make the start of the race because he's not actually on the roster. He's connected, but never actually started the race. He might have missed the grid.
I remember Benjamin had put something in there about the sitting admin for tonight. I wonder if it might have been him.
Tate Dorsey being shown a black flag. Oh, that's number 06. In 19th position, Dorsey being shown a black flag. So I'm thinking that's he probably pit. Yeah, he has a pit stop under his wing here. So we're going to back this up and see maybe it was an unsafe exit. Or maybe he sped going down pit road.
Keith Hughes' number is usually the 82, right?
Yes.
He is our sitting admin for tonight.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at Dorsey here. Pit speed is 36. He's doing, or 35. He's doing about 36, 37. He may have got hit with a speeding penalty.
And here, that'll hurt you. That's a long pit road to be.
Yeah. He's right on the 35, 36. It's kind of fluttering back and forth between the two. He might have pushed it just a little bit too much. You know what? And he didn't stop.
Josh Mercurio took over the lead. So, well, if he'd got a speeding penalty, they'd have to do a drive-through.
Yeah, but even on the drive-through, maybe he got a speeding penalty and then messed up the drive-through and got another one. Because it's cleared now, so he did serve the penalty. So Tate Dorsey is good to go. Black flag also being served by Mark Snyder in the 27.
Somewhere in there, Zach Roberts pitted. Didn't catch when he did it, so he probably did it around lap. I'm trying to think 12.
Oh, Rogers went in.
Yeah. Mercurio's got the lead right now. He has not pitted. He's led 2 laps. Got Victor Delgado is 15 seconds behind Mercurio. But the big problem that you got to think about, they're out there still going, which is fine. Should a caution come out, that may... Okay, Mercurio's coming in the pits now. I was going to say, that might catch him out, because one of the things you have to be a little cautious about road courses is when you pit. Sometimes they'll short pit if hoping for a caution, and that way you'll come out in front of everybody.
Right.
You get more position, you gain more positions by never actually really having to pass them on the track under race conditions.
So Zach Rogers is pitting at the end of lap 13.
Okay. We were busy watching the rest of the field there, and I figured they were going to go a little bit deeper in there, but they got a better strategy than I do. Watching to see what Mercurio's doing. He's taking right side tires in fields now. And he's going to take 4 tires. Question is where is who our leader is going to be after that?
Yeah.
Zach Rogers currently is in second, but no, he's going to be our leader when he gets to the line because Mercurio beat him to the start-finish line on pit road.
Yeah, so once the cycle is done, Zach Rogers will take the lead back.
Well, he's fighting a lot of lap traffic right now. He just passed the 31, now he's passing the 73, and it looks like the 68 is going to be his next victim.
Yep, it's Joseph Landy Pavlon. Watch out, JLP. It's not his first day. He'll, when the time is right, he'll let him go, I'm sure. You're not going to race the leader when you're about to go a lap down.
Headed down into 11 right now. Zach just drops down underneath him, outbreaks him into the corner a little bit, takes the corner away from him. Give him better, with the newer tires, give him a better drive off. And he's going to be back into the lead.
confirmation right there. First place again, Zach Rogers in the 84. There is a Zach Roberts as well. That's why we keep messing up your name, Zach. Sorry, Zach Rogers. Zach Rogers.
Oh, I'm trying to Mercurio now because. So wait now. Okay, so it's the 34 of Carlos Mendez. He's in the second position currently. It's about almost 17 seconds behind Zach Rogers.
Black flag to Merkel.
That's what happened to him. I was getting ready to look for him. See how he did, and he has got black flag, probably speeding on pit road. 35 miles an hour. Slow speed.
It's infuriating. Like, it's got to be infuriating. A pit speed at 35 miles an hour. You know, even on a road course, which an average speed is not going to be as high as some of the ovals we're running at, but man, that feels slow. It feels like an eternity trying to go 34 and a half all the way down that pit lane.
Mm-hmm.
Especially having to get into that, you know, you have to navigate the hairpin as well, which doesn't have a speed limit, but you can't go fast to the hairpin because it's a hairpin. One of the most forgiving hairpins ever. It's super wide and nice, and it's a long one too, but my God, it takes forever. Just focused here on Merkel currently. Wonder when he's gonna... Is it cleared? It has been cleared, so he did serve the penalty.
Nick Kinleyman 93. Is that Norm?
Sorry, who? Say again?
Is that Michael Norman? Nickley Man. I don't know. He said I randomly blew up.
Oh, McKinley Man 93. That's probably Michael Norman. It rhymes, sort of.
Yeah, and he's out there watching the broadcast, and we were going to bring him up in the booth, and he jumped out on us.
Yeah, engine header gone. Black flag for Ulysses Sandoval. There's your leader, the 84.
I've had that random roll-up kill me one time on a race. I was leading the race, caution flag come out, went to the start-finish line, through 1 and 2, down the back stretch, and the motor went, poof. And that was a header. Come on back, buddy.
There's the 34, Carlos Mendez in second place.
He said, it is Michael, and I can come back. I said, come on back. We'll talk to you. Yeah.
19 seconds behind the leader. That's the gap that Rogers has put on everybody here. Let's see here. The 24 of Jack Merkel, even after serving a penalty, still running in 8th.
We managed to find him, pull him out of his trailer. Michael Norman, and the driver of the 22, broke a header, which killed his motor, ended his night. We've got him, Mike on him, and he's ready to talk to us. How's your night going, Mike? Not very well, I see.
Yeah, it could have been a lot better, but I was just coming out of the carousel. I shifted up to 4th, and suddenly there was nothing. No engine sound, no nothing. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I just randomly blew up.
Yeah, we went into the cockpit of that thing, and that's exactly what it just went silent. And I'm thinking, oh, it didn't look like you accidentally went to 1st and then back to 4th or something. There was no mistake on the shifting. I guess it just decided to quit.
Yeah, these motors are usually pretty good, and I was about an average of a 6th place car out there, just trying to hold my own there. About lost it a couple times, but managed to wheel it back in. And I was just trying to keep up a top 5. That was my goal tonight, was to finish top 5. And also, I do have a message for you. Certain somebody in the 1st place right now says, please stop messing up his name.
Yeah, I know. So we've apologized for that, actually, because there's a Zach Roberts as well, and then we'll do the same with him. We'll always call you by the other one.
I've called him Rogers.
Sorry, Mr. Rogers.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is.
I like the Eddie Murphy version better. Mr. Robinson's neighborhood.
Right. But yeah, it was a fun race out there. I mean, this race is gonna end up being Zach's hardcore. Unless something happens to him, this race is gonna be Zach.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you'll hear it from him when he gets up here.
Yep. Yeah, we butcher names quite often.
We should just make it a thing, really. We should just see how bad we can butcher names.
Yeah, I can do that without trying too hard. So.
Yeah, like we're sitting here now talking to Norman McHale. You know, just say it backwards.
Right.
Mess it up completely.
He just call me by my WW2K name and call me Michael Newman.
What are you guys up to over there at FRN? You and Seth are always you're always busy over there on the Talladega Challenge and all the FRN stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, Seth's a lot more busier than I am. I have the only availability I have usually is Thursday nights, unless for some reason I'm not actually working at the hut. But yeah, you know, Tally Challenge starting back up this Thursday night. Looking forward to being up there in the booth with Seth and Kyle again. And you know, Seth has his Wednesday night iRacing broadcasts. I wish I could join him on that one, but unfortunately I had to give up iRacing, even though I miss it a lot. But yeah, you know, keep an eye out, Flat Out Race Network. You guys also do pretty fun. I love watching these broadcasts, and I'm gonna head back to my trailer, get some rest, and watch the end of this race.
Thanks for joining us, man. It's been a slice.
Absolutely.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, I'd like to thank Stephen Buchanan for coming in here and talking to us.
Yes, Steve.
Or whatever his name was. Zach Rogers.
McKinley Man.
Rogers.
We should have called him McKinley Man 93.
Yeah. I apologize for these camera angles. I'm trying to stay away from these buildings, but I gotta keep. It's a full-time job.
It's a tough track to do that.
It is. Noah Wetzel headed into the pits right there. It looks like he's limping. 1 second. Has he got a tire down? I think he might have a tire down.
That'd be tough to do.
It looked weird coming in there.
Just locked up the tires a little bit too many times, flat spotted them, and then that'll cause one to really...
Yeah, you can't really see it, but the way that he was trying to wrestle that thing down pit road was... it looked like he was having a tough time. Carlos Mendez, man, like, all these other guys are driving such a nice... Well, he just went off the track surface there, but they're driving a smooth race. You just can't catch Zach.
No, Zach's too smooth for this.
It's not going to happen.
Call him Roberts?
Yeah, we'll call him Zachariah Tamias.
Yeah, something like that. We can call him let's just call him Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers, that'll be easier. At least we're right. At least we're not wrong.
We're never wrong. If you're never, you know, rule number 1, we're never wrong. Rule number 2, if we're ever wrong, see rule number 1.
Yep, there you go. Just domination, man. We're lap 22 right now, 37. Zach Rogers dominating this race in first, has led 18 laps. The other 3 went to Josh. Benjamin Snyder has retired from the race. Accident. Michael Norman out with an engine header. Danica Matthews shows that he's still running. Hasn't overtaken Norman yet. Christian Torres and John Godfrey also have retired from the race. This helicopter view gives you a really good shot of the line that these guys take. Currently following Zach.
I know when I first went out there on this track, went down into the drag strip there, but I turned 7, and I didn't know which one of the curbs I was supposed to hit. I had to watch somebody for a minute to figure it out.
Oh yeah.
3 different little curbs there. You got the end of the pit out of the drag strip. You got one turn, and then you got another one, you know, that's a little bit wider and further out. That's the one I was supposed to hit. When somebody made up a bunch of timing on me, I realized, oh, no, I don't think I'm supposed to be out there. Josh Mercurio still in third. about 35 seconds back from the leader. Carlos Mendez is in second. He's about 27 seconds behind. They said, Zach's just easy. Rogers is just gone.
Coming up on some more lap traffic here as we are attached to Zach going for a ride.
Let's see, people, maybe some of them may start making pit stops here. The ones that have pitted a little earlier. I don't know. I would imagine Zach's probably going to try. He did it on lap 13. I imagine he's probably going to go probably at least 24, 25. Make sure that he can make it on that after that second stop.
Right, so you think he can do it on 2 stops? He's got the map already figured out, eh?
Right. He's going to probably... That's the thing about a league that does they control the cautions. One good thing about that is it's almost like a race very similar to what we saw, we had the kind of enduro races at SML last Sunday. A lot of times, if you have a race like this, it's just going very well and very smooth. So now you got to figure out your strategy. What's the best strategy to have? And how many? So if it's a 2-pit strategy, you figure out. If I pit here, there, like pit here. If you'll figure that out ahead of time, and then you'll just kind of tweak it a little bit on the fly.
Right.
Zach might just run it out a little bit further, or go to that 26, and then he's only got to. Ulysses Sandoval just got T-boned. He got a little bit, lost a little bit on 2B, and Ramos Jr., the number 5 in that nice Vodafone car, come up over the top of the hill, and he didn't even see him until it was too late, and T-boned Ullman.
We're watching it now in a replay. Yeah, Ulysses gets a little loose coming out of there. He actually almost saved it, but then... Oh, yeah.
Coming up over that hill, you just can't.
See, if we could even do that, we could get in the cockpit here of the 5 and see what he's looking at. You probably saw the smoke, but then you got to make a decision of, where am I going? And it's just,
Made a decision on where to go. And man decided that decision wasn't good for him and slid out in front of him. At that point, he had no way for him to go.
Ulysses took that, beat him to that spot. Did you want to grab Benjamin Snyder and bring him up into the booth here since he's out of the race? He's in the YouTube chat saying he could definitely do a mid-race interview here as we're getting close to the last 10. Stand by, Ben. Benjamin Snyder, live on the air. How you doing, man?
I think he left his mic turned off.
That is possible. We'll just focus on Theo Torres while we wait for Ben to turn his microphone on. The 07 of Theo Torres. The 07 hailing from Mexico. We got a list of notes here. Let's take a look at that car.
Currently have 7 cars still on the lead lap. The 32, Zachary Hall, is the last car that's on the lead lap. He's just about a minute and 3 seconds behind the leader.
A lot of left side damage on Theo's car. Michelob Ultra sponsor on the side. That's always cool. Michelob Ultra. That's some good brewskis. Well, I'm not in replay mode. Whoops, forgot to shut that off. Apologies to everybody for watching high contrast replay mode.
Yeah.
You there, Ben? You got us?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey now.
There he is.
Oh man, so you retired. What happened? Just damage, or just decided to run the race from the sidelines?
No, Keith's doing the administration tonight, which is why he's not on track.
Okay.
I was really hoping to go the distance and just hit the tire barrier, and they couldn't repair the damage.
Oh, okay. So you know this. What was the original version of Sonoma that shipped with NASCAR 2003?
It was Infineon. It was the short course. This is the long layout.
Right, okay. Oh, right, it was called Infineon. I forgot about that.
Yep.
It was called Infineon in the 2000s and early 2010s. Before that, it was Sears Point.
Yep.
That's
I
right.
always known it
I
as
remember
Sears
Sears.
Point.
Yeah, I always remember it as Sears Point. Yeah. So Sonoma is just where it's located.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't sponsor this track or.
So what Infineon was a sponsor that
Right.
sponsored the track for a while, and like they called Charlotte Lowe's Motor Speedway because Lowe's had put up some money for it.
Yes.
Right. People want their
And then-
name on stuff.
SMI actually bought out Sonoma. They also own Charlotte, and Sonoma is now one of the SMI tracks.
Oh, okay. So next week we're headed to Kansas, race number 7. Do you know who's sponsoring that race?
We don't have a sponsor yet, but I know one person who might be interested. I'll have to reach out to him because he's from Kansas, and this will be a home race for him.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and we had, oh, geez, who was it again? It was Brock Beard doing the Grand Marshal this evening. Do you know him, or are you just familiar with his website? How does that all work?
Yeah, I've known about his YouTube channel for a long time, and I thought this would be a good opportunity. This is like a home race for him. He's from Northern California.
Oh, okay. He's got a pretty cool idea with that lastcar.info, where he tracks the last place finishers, not so much the winners.
Yeah, he doesn't focus on what all the other media darlings focus on. I actually adapted that for this league, for the Cup Series, where we're tracking last place finishes too.
Yeah, I remember you have a tab in the standings there for LastCar.
Yeah, that's where this comes from.
There's Zach. He's headed to the pits right now.
Just say
Mr.
that.
Rogers. Yeah.
I was watching to see when he was going to come because I knew it would be pretty soon. So now the advantage he has now is he's got 10 laps left.
Mm-hmm.
He can just go, you know. So that's I figured he'd probably adopt that strategy. That way, doesn't have to worry about tires at all.
Yeah, he'll get full service here and just drive the wheels right off her.
Yep.
And he has a 40-second gap on Mercurio. He has lapped every single car in the field except for the 5 behind him.
That's pretty incredible.
It is. I was going to say, domination. We had a great race to the finish last year's event, but I don't know if there's going to be a neck-and-neck battle. Nobody's going to be able to catch Zach.
We'll have to see.
Random engine gods break down his motor, then they catch him.
Yeah, that's true. We
Or
would
if
need
he
an absolute
runs off the
catastrophe.
track. Yeah, I don't want to jinx him, so. But I think this 84 is pulling away. But there could be a really good battle for second, third, fourth.
Oh yeah, they've been pretty close. Carlos Mendez had just pitted a little while ago and actually went one lap down. So I don't know if he got something that tangled up with something that lost him a little time, or it was just that he was close enough to the leader so that when he did pit, Zach was able to go by him.
Yeah, the battle for like second and third right here too. We're just watching Merkel, and he's trying to get around Victor Delgado the third. So that's for third place right there is what we're watching here now. And they're not too far behind Mercurio, only a couple seconds behind Josh. So this will definitely be a fight for second.
Absolutely. Merkel has won the last 2 road course races here.
Mm-hmm.
This race last year and then Road America before that. And Victor Delgado III won the pole at Watkins Glen last year.
Oh, okay. So the right people are at the front of the pack here. Rogers is putting on a clinic. Has not missed the entire night. black flag being shown to Carlos Mendez. Probably a speeding penalty because that pit road is notorious. To the pits now, Delgado. So Mercury.
And I actually got hit with a speeding penalty earlier in the race as well, and the game didn't clear my black flag after I served it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Matthias Yankee being shown a black flag as well. He's 3 laps down in 26th currently. Just focused on Delgado the third here. Victor making his pit stop. This will be full service. Very picky.
Jack Merkel still has to make a pit stop, I would believe.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he's only done one. My stats are showing that Merkel has only pitted once.
And so he's going to have to say.
So check that out, right? So Rogers had a 40-second gap. Jack hasn't pit. Closed the 40-second gap to 21 seconds. Still wasn't able to take the lead. Like, Zach was able to pit and get out, and those guys still didn't catch him. He'll stay locked down to the 24 Merkel here because he's going to have to make a pit stop.
I'm thinking he's going to be there pretty soon.
He's got to be going in now. Delgado went the last time around. Here he comes. Yep.
Yep, there he goes. Yeah, I figured he would be.
That might be all she wrote.
Yep, he's right down under 35.
Delgado,
so he should be okay.
Delgado, you said pitted last time by?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so I was just looking to see that he hadn't pitted yet, but he has. Josh Mercurio already has pitted for his second pit stop. Or he is currently in the pits now.
Yeah, that's funny. My stats aren't showing Delgado. It's only showing him with one pit stop or something.
Yeah, I don't think he's pitted yet. Or the one, if he just pitted a little bit ago, it hasn't picked it up yet.
Maybe it hasn't refreshed it yet, yeah. Right on the 35-mile-an-hour mark.
Currently, that right now, since Jack Merkel pitted, that puts Mercurio in second place. He's got about around 10 seconds on Merkel, so for only 7 laps left to go.
Well, Merkel comes out of the pits and right to the bumper, the 052 of Delgado. That's wild. That was both. That shows you both of those guys nailed their pit stops because they're right back where they started.
That's cool.
One guy went in one lap, one guy went around, and then they're right back together again. And Mercurio about 10 seconds in front of them. So let's see.
Mercurio's going to have to do something. He's going to have to, step wrong a little bit for them to be able to catch him. So if he's smart, he knows he can't catch Zach Roberts. He's just keep a good pace. Don't do what he just did. He just dropped his wheels off in 10. Just kind of keep his car going straight forward, and he should be all right.
Yeah, because there's a 20-second, or let's see, he's 47 seconds behind. Let's see, 49 seconds behind the leader. And third place of Merkel is 10 seconds behind him. So yeah, it's a pretty good cushion he's got.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you have that battle for fourth with Delgado and Kinsey, and then Zachary Hall is not too far behind them.
Yeah, they're driving off the track, kicking up some sand.
Pretty good little battle for 11th between George Poncho, I hope I said that right.
Pachon.
Jonathan Peavy.
Jorge Pachon.
Jorge Pachon, okay. And Jonathan Peavy. They're back here fighting for 11th, but got a pretty good little battle going on. Oh, Peavy.
Just locked on to Peavy.
This is how you say it. He just oversteps through the S's.
Yeah. Peavy just drove the wheels right off it. That was the Tarnation TV push. We locked onto the car, and it goes around.
Sorry about that, Jonathan. We talked about him all night. We talk about him, and then he gets to show us his drifting skills.
Yep.
Yeah, and my camera's on the 84 because it looks like he's going to win the race. And I saw earlier a couple cars get a little loose behind him, lap cars. So not only do you have to know about the drivers behind you that are racing for position, in this case, for Rogers, that would be Mercurio, Merkel, Delgado, Kinsey, and Hall. You also have to go around these lap cars.
Yeah. There's the battle for fifth. We got Kinsey in fifth. Right behind him, Zachary Hall in the 32. These guys the old, what is it? The 052. That's Delgado. I'm looking at the wrong spot on the ticker. So Kinsey's in fourth. And Delgado in fifth. These guys have swapped positions a couple times here in the last couple laps. You know, the guy behind just waits for the mistake, and then they're able to capitalize on it.
That's the easiest way to make a pass. Is if somebody makes a mistake, just drive by them.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, I've got to go down and admin the rest of the race.
Oh, yeah, we're getting near the end, man. Yeah, thanks for hanging
Absolutely.
out. There's the boss, Benjamin Schneider.
Watching RJ Bishop a little bit, he was hustling that thing up through the S's and turn 2 A and B, and turn 3. He was hustling that car pretty good.
Well, since we mess up names, we got to call him Benjamin Schneider.
Which one is that?
Benjamin Schneider.
Okay.
Benjamin Schneider, or Benjamin Schneider.
There you go.
We will now make it our mission to mess up everybody's name.
New names for everybody, is that it?
Yes. And the total domination of Zash Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Out here in first, he is 51 seconds ahead of Josh Mercurio. Putting the 42 another lap down. That's Dylan Young. The beginning of lap number 34.
Carlos Mendez just made up a position through the S's. The 6 of Tate Dorsey come off through one of the corners of the S's and just went a little bit wide. Put it out in the giggly weeds for a bit, and Carlos took advantage of it and just went right by him. He was up front earlier in the night. I don't know really what happened to him, whether he got caught up in something or just went off track for a little bit, but he's currently in 7th, 1 lap down. Still hustling pretty good, though. Taking a lot of curbs and stuff.
Does that affect tire wear? Bumping the curbs like that? Probably not so much in this sim.
I don't know if it really doesn't so much in the sim, but affect how in the way it can affect is because you're airborne, and when you land, you slide a little bit.
Ah, okay.
It could wear tires a little bit, depending on where and what you do it. Tire drivers that, like Zach Rogers there, that just is smooth enough they don't have to. Then you got drivers like me with this, who always taking so much curve, the tires hardly ever touching the ground.
Black flag to 8th position. Tate Dorsey, the number 6, is going to have to serve that. Back here watching the battle for 4th. Delgado, right there in the 52, is in 5th right now.
So where that could have happened is through turn 11. So turn 11 has got the tires right stacked up inside there. And if you go too close or cut that corner just a little too much, it'll give you a black flag and make you do a drive-through.
So that's like a track limit penalty then.
Yep.
You're outside the limits of the track.
Yep.
What does the crew chief say for that? You got to serve a black flag for... I don't know if you've ever done that.
It's a drive-through penalty.
So they don't explain what it is?
It just gives you a black. It'll just say you got a black flag. I don't know because my spotter pack is totally different than the original.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if they say you're cutting the course. You got to come down to pit road.
Mine is a combination of the Jimmy Johnson spotter pack and another spotter pack that I combined and made my own.
Oh, okay. Not the John St. John one. Don't mind or never mind the car. You couldn't drive a nail.
Mine, we would need to be on turbo.
Yeah. You know the original crew chief in this thing, John St. John. That's the same guy who did Duke Nukem. You knew that, right?
No, I did not.
Oh man, yeah, John St. John, the original crew chief in here, with all those cool one-liners. Like, he's like, "You cut a tire after you rolled your car like 16 times." I'm like, "Oh, I cut a tire, did I? What about the rest of the car?" But yeah, that guy, that voice actor, also voiced Duke Nukem.
I did not know that.
Nope. Yeah, I was reading the credits the one day. I'm like, John St. John, why does that name sound familiar? So, oh, Delgado goes around. The battle for 4th is no longer. He actually saved it. I thought that thing was going to be gone. But, I mean, he's definitely going to have to do some catching up.
We're on the 2 laps to go, and Zach Rogers comes around to the front stretch. He's currently coming in turn 7 right now. We should get the 1 lap to go. I believe I'm correct, but I might not be, but I think it's going to be, he's going to get the 1 lap to go, Simon, when he gets there. Currently riding down through the S's.
Yeah, locked here on Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers in the 84, dominating this race. He's led 32 laps. The other 3 laps were led by Josh Mercurio,
who's currently in the 2nd position.
But yeah, that was kind of neat when I found out that I was like, John St. John, why does that sound familiar? Looked it up on Google and found out he did the Duke Nukem voice too, which is super cool. I played a lot of that game.
Good battle going on again back there for the 11th place, but I'm not going to say who it is because the last time I did, they spun out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jorge Pachon and Peavy again. We will stay focused on Zach. The white flag is in the air. And you want to know how to get around Sonoma, the long version. This is how you do it.
Is smoking. He must have up a wall or something down there and turned left. He's going to just try to nurse it around there to finish the race.
Crocodile Cromp just served a black flag. It's now clear. Very strict with the penalties. I'm thinking it's that, 35.5 mile an hour on pit road. And these guys are getting black flag for it.
Two cars dropping the wheels off the, they're just last lap. They're just trying to, go as much hard as they can, pick up as much time. And I think they're just overdoing it just a tad bit. This is Sandoval, Sandoval, the 7, and Tate Dorsey. Oh, no, backs off and gives them back the position.
There is your winner. Zach Rogers. Whoa, there's a camera switcheroo if I've ever seen one. Got my zoom going the wrong way. There we go. Got to make the car look less elongated and a little bit more squished.
Waiting for Josh Mercurio, currently in 2nd place, going down through the S's right now. Just to give you an idea how far back he was, 57 seconds behind Zach Rogers. Said Roberts, didn't he?
Yeah.
We're going to
He's
get
coming
it.
through the hairpin right now, actually. Yep.
Jack Merkel just coming down to the hairpin himself.
And then 24 with Merkel crosses the line.
Looks like the 5 is just coasting.
And the 18 of Kinsey on the wrong side of the wall. That's not good. I don't know how that's going to end up. I think Delgado's definitely going to get him. He's doing the drag. He's doing the drag strip right now. Oh, into the runoff lane, and Trey is gone. He has been launched into outer space, and he's still going. Wow. Okay, I think he's on the ground again. He is on the ground again. Wowzers. Anyway, Zach Rogers, the number 84, your winner this evening. Let's put the checkered flag hanging out the side of that car and get ready to watch him burn this joint to the ground. Absolutely phenomenal run by Zach Rogers to throw 34 laps led down on a 37-lap race, dude.
That's pretty good.
You want to know how to do it, this is how you do it.
In his jacket, but we'll get a chance to do a little interview with Jack Merkel, the 3rd place finisher in the 24 DuPont Chevrolet.
I got you.
There he is.
I got you.
Didn't lead any laps tonight.
No, I tried to get him there, and I kind of screwed myself on the first stop. I got the black flag, and I just couldn't really recover from that and chase Zach down at all.
Yeah, but all in all, not too bad of a night. Good points night for you tonight. Being, I think, I don't know where Josh Mercurio is in the points, and Zach obviously not in the points at all. So that might be a big benefit for you for tonight's race. You kept it pretty clean, other than you said you'd gotten that little incident there, and not a bad race for you at all tonight.
Yeah, just I had a thing with Keith where I was like, I made a joke about starting in the back of the race and I could come up and get some wins still, and did that before I knew Rogers was racing this race, and I kind of screwed myself on that one with that.
Yeah, Zach's pretty smooth. He's hard to catch. So, but caution-free race too. That you guys got to be pretty proud of that. There was a few incidences, but most of it was just slight off track. People just dropping a tire a little bit too much, getting it straightened out and going. I think we saw maybe one or two spins. So it was a really, really good race. I was looking forward to this, listening to Blaine talking about how well you guys did last year. So I thought it was going to be a really good race, and wasn't disappointed at all with that.
Yeah, definitely tried to back up what I did last year. I knew it was going to be tough starting from the back and having Zach in the field. If I hadn't sped, I probably could have had second locked up. I would have needed a caution to come out for me to have any chance of battling Zach for the win at all. I knew I could get there and battle if I could get there. I had the speed to do it, but
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. So I'm going to give you the floor. You can thank any of the people that you need to for getting you here tonight.
Just thanks again for Fortnite Squad Racing. Give me a good 24 DuPont Chevy. Just couldn't get it done tonight. We'll come back next week and try to bring it home again.
There you go. Our 3rd place finisher of tonight, Jack Merkel.
Great run, Jack. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Be an issue anymore.
So, 2nd place finisher. You led 3 laps tonight. That wasn't too bad. Got a kind of a spanking put on by Zach Roberts tonight, but all in all,
Rogers.
Zach Rogers. Sorry, did I say Roberts again?
Yes, you did.
I did. God, I got to stop doing that. But you had a good, clean run. Really, you didn't step a wheel too long. Just didn't quite have the speed to catch up with Zach. How'd your other than that? How let us know how your night went.
Yeah, so I think I had a pretty good battle there with the 34 for most of the race. We probably battled a bit too much and let Zach get away. And once you give Zach Rogers like a 10, 15-second gap, like there's no coming back from that. So really just cruise, try to manage the lap traffic because I was pretty dangerous. But yeah, come home second. Got some laps led for the championship there and made up, I think that's like 5 or 10 points on the leader. So pretty good weekend.
Yeah, I was just saying, good points race for you too, because you're one of the guys that are in there then for the whole season to go for the championship. So that was pretty good good race for you.
Yeah, I just got to keep having these. I mean, last week was a bummer, but top fives and leading laps will get you places. I think the first couple of races of the season were disasters. So to turn it around the last couple, it's pretty good.
That's great. So unless Blaine's got something to ask you. Nope, he's busy.
Oh, I'm plugging in all the info here, man. But yeah, what a great race to run. Like, I mean, between Zach dominating this thing, you led the other 3 laps, if that's a bonus point of some kind. But it's great. I love these road courses. It's a different broadcasting style for us. And watching you guys hit your lines, like, you ran a super smooth race, dude, but you're still a minute behind that dude.
Yeah, I think the main thing is you can really risk it out of the corners. I think Zach Rogers is great on the throttle, and so he can really manage the tires and manage the traction in first gear out of a lot of the corners. So for me, turn 2, the carousel, a couple of other corners on the track where you probably could ride around in first gear, but you run the risk of spinning the tires, heating them up, or just plain looping it. So took it easy.
If rolling off the throttle, or onto the throttle, I should say, off the exit of the corners is something that drivers that can do that, it really, really makes up a big difference.
Yeah, and I think this setup is really well suited for Zach, obviously. I think we all saw that. But yeah, there's all the weight of the cars on the front 2 tires, so the rear just wants to step out on you. And so you just got to manage that. Hit your lines, be smooth, and yeah, you turn it into a good result.
Can't complain with a second place finish at all. I'm going to give you the opportunity to thank the people that you got to thank that got you. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so got to thank all the guys who worked on the EF Cadillac, the Battleac. Love that name. I stole that from somebody. But I normally race with the guys at NNSCRA. I'm sure you've heard the spiel before, but we're a great group of guys. We shoot it, we just talk and hang out during the races and team speak. Then I got to thank all the people that probably are watching, maybe girlfriend, family, all that sort of thing. Love them, love racing, and obviously thank you to Ben and Keith for stepping out of the car this week to do some off-track work. Really appreciate that effort. I hope it doesn't get unappreciated. And yeah, you guys for doing the broadcast. Can't wait to watch it later.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
There's your second place finisher, Josh Mercurio. The Battleac. I like that. That is pretty cool. We're gonna have to use that.
That's very cool.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, bye guys.
Thanks, Josh. Have a good night, buddy.
So now the guy that put on the clinic,
Yeah.
the Zach Rogers. Sorry about that, buddy.
Man, oh man, yeah, we were about, 20% into the race when I heard that y'all were doing that. Come on, Blaine, come on.
Yeah,
You know me, bro. Come
I know.
on.
We do it, and then we correct it, and then we do it again for like another 5 minutes, and then we're like, wait a second.
That's like when every time I tune in and I hear Rod saying Jovan, and I'm like, brother, there's an I in there. It's Jovan. Come on.
Jovan, I always call him Jovan, yeah. Jovan Anderson, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, that was tiring, man. Whew, 37 laps green here.
You were smooth. You just ran a great line smooth. Never really dropped the tire wrong. It looked like the lap traffic was pretty good to you. They weren't getting in your way too much. And
that's the thing. The lap traffic tonight was very respectable. Like they knew just to, you know, race their line, and when they had a chance to slide out of the way, maybe back off the throttle a bit, you were able to just kind of whip by those guys. They weren't really many obstacles.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciated that because I wasn't sure what kind of courtesy I was or wasn't going to get because I haven't raced a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys don't know me, but I really appreciate all of them giving me like benefit of the doubt courtesy. I mean, it's really cool to see that out of people you've never raced against before. So I really respect all those guys, really appreciate them for showing me the courtesy. It was definitely a little sketchy sometimes. You kind of had to wait to get out of the corner. Like, I knew some guys, I was just, no offense, like 10 seconds faster a lap. And I just knew when I caught them, like in certain sectors, to just like wait until you get out of the corner and then, you know, you either make a move on them or, you know, they'll move over and let you go. So there was definitely a lot of courtesy there tonight.
Go ahead, Rod. I stepped on you last time.
That's okay. That's a good thing though. The car ran really, like I said, really good. Your pit strategy, I kind of picked the pit strategy you'd probably use that way going into the first stop. We saw you did about 13 laps. Second one, and you did it about lap 27, which is one more than I thought you'd probably go. But then that left you with, you know, brand new tires for the last 10 laps. So if you had to, you had the ability to just really pour it on and roll away. You had great pit strategy tonight, great speed. Like I said, didn't really drop a wheel wrong. I think you'd had a great race. So need to get over here and race a little more often so you can whoop up on these boys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I ran a few of these about a few years ago. The oval races can tend to be a little too chaotic to my liking, but I know a road course, the field gets very spread out. You're pretty much in control of your own destiny as long as you don't hit anyone or spin out, etc. So I was comfortable coming out. Plus, I really love Sonoma. I haven't run this layout since FTF used it back in 2019, and I was like a 20th place car at best back then when they ran it. So it's pretty cool. I've, you know, not to gloat, I've won at Sonoma a lot. So cool to win on the long layout, as I've done with Watkins Glen. But strategy-wise, yeah, originally I was gonna do like a 12-13-13 or 12-12-13 type thing. And, you know, I stretched it 13 that first run, like you said. And then I thought about just doing it again, pit in lap 26, 25. And then I was like, you know what? The tires aren't that bad. I've got a pretty good gap. Like, there's not many guys on the lead lap. If that caution were to fly, like, not really a big deal if I have to pit and everyone's, like, bunched up behind me, you know? So I stretched it a little bit there. And then, like, the first 2 laps, I just took it pretty easy. And then I was like, you know what? I think we're all pretty spread out. I think we'll be all right. I'll just start going a little bit.
In practice, I did a little run around in practice to just try to learn a little bit about it.
I saw you.
And but I struggled on that carousel because that car gets light coming up over the top of that hill. But it told me when I come into pit and stop and then fill it up that I could do about 18 laps. And I was just going to say, was kind of wondering is more of your pit strategy just fuel? You know, you knew you're going to need fuel, kind of break it up that way, or was it just tires you figured, or how did you kind of just determine that?
Oh, it was 4 tires every time. I mean, the tires didn't really heat up. That's one thing I would change with this track INI settings is I would probably bump the tire heat up either 0.05 to 0.1, because even when I would push the absolute, my rear tires would only get up to maybe 180 and the fronts weren't even getting over like 165, especially the left front. The left front tire wasn't really heating up, even though it was kind of the tire that was wearing the most. Optimal tire heat for any racetrack, you want all 4 tires to be like above 180, especially on a road course. Like the front end basically was just sliding the whole night. I had to play with the gas a lot to get any rotation. So yeah, it was pretty much 4 tires though. I mean, they wore a lot. They just, you didn't really lose too much. You lost maybe like a second and a half grip wise. I was trying to get Zachary Hall there at the end just to just to kind of say, yeah, I lapped up the 6th, but I wasn't quite enough.
I was curious.
I
about
was
the
gonna
tires.
spare him. I was gonna spare him 1 lap, but he wanted to finish on the lead lap, so I respect that.
I was going to ask about the tire thing because we were locked onto you a lot through this race, and we noticed like a lot of the throttle work that you're doing. You know, it seemed like you had to flap that thing a few times. Does that make the car hook up a little better, or like when you're kind of fluttering the gas like that, or is that just because of the tire temps?
Yeah, so it's partially tire temp related, but it does help rotate the rear end. So NR's not like iRacing. So like if you go to iRacing, you would drive it completely differently, right? You would probably manage your throttle. You would hold the throttle about half throttle, and you could steer the car off the corner. And our road course physics are really wonky to people used to iRacing and just people generally that started on NR that went to iRacing later have said like, yeah, like road course is really goofy on NR. It works for me. I've always kind of driven that way. You can drive that way on an oval too, depending on the physics and the grip and the setup, you know, to help it rotate more middle of the corner. So yeah, like you wanted to pedal it a little bit when you were in the middle of the corner to get it to bite, and then once you got to exit, then you can like kind of drive it like you would on iRacing, and you like kind of manage the throttle. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I did stream tonight, so if you guys are curious after and you want to see exactly how I was wheeling it, you can check that out on my channel. You guys know me, Bulldog Speed, baby.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat if I could somehow pull that feed into this broadcast. That'd be kind of weird. I could definitely do it.
You should see my Q lap. You want to talk about an moment? Going through the carousel, that right-hander right before the downhill swooping left. On my Q lap, I went completely off track, and I actually had to downshift to second gear and like get on the brakes a little bit while I was moving back onto the pavement. And I made it work, and I still can't believe that my lap time didn't suffer because of that mistake. I was honestly surprised.
Yeah, because we're highlighting it here right now on the broadcast. Your lap time is a full second faster than Mercurio in second place. 133.3.
Yeah, the funny thing is
that was a mistake.
That was the fastest lap I ran when I did 2 test runs over the weekend. I just did like 1 lap, I think, Saturday, and I did another lap yesterday. Both of my laps were 133.5. So yeah, I was definitely surprised when I botched that corner and I still ran a 33.3. Like, definitely surprised. Which I wasn't too worried. I just wanted to qualify like front row top 3.
Yeah, because even in practice, it's not showing here on the export, but from a previous practice session, I had it noted down that you did a 133.8.
Yep. So
like you're under a minute and 34 seconds practicing, qualifying, awesome job, I guess is what I'm trying to say. A lot of fun to watch that. Yeah, and the little tricks too, like when you see the throttle work, like you're slapping the throttle and stuff, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's getting, because I've found myself, I don't even know why I do it, but like you said, it works, and that's probably why it helps the car turn a little bit, or just, kind of hook up a little bit better. But, sometimes you got to flutter the throttle, and yeah, you wouldn't really do that in a real car, but it's just game stuff, your visuals and your audio and your force feedback, and sometimes it just feels like the car is going to break loose, and you just kind of give it a little, jerk the wheel, slap the gas, who knows, so strange things can happen.
Yeah, there were a few scary moments. Another part of this track that was really important was you wanted to clip the rumble strips. I don't know if you picked up on that in the few laps you practiced, but the rumble strips had a bit of more grip to them than the pavement, to where when you would clip them, it would, if you were prepared for it, it would help grip you through the corner. So
basically rotates you through the corner better.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that would help you rotate through the corner. The corners that was especially useful for was coming out of the carousel. The downhill swooping left. Like if I would send it in. I saw people hugging the short way around that corner, but what I would do is I would dive it in, braking a little deeper. I would downshift the second, and then I would let the car kind of swoop out right to the edge before you would touch grass, and then you slow down a little more mid-corner, but then you're able to just turn left and go as straight as possible down the hill off the corner. So you would clip that rumble there to help get a little grip off there. Then through 8 and 9, where there's a bit of a uphill downhill.
Yep.
If you clip that, even though it would flip you up a little bit, it would take the right front off the ground a little bit.
Yep.
That actually helps you rotate still through that corner. And then turn, I think it's 10. It's the right-hander before the last hairpin. That corner, I will kid you not, it is sketchy to do, but once you do it, you are prepared for it. You want to aim your right front tire for the grass.
Yep. If you hit it right, it rolls you through there so well. If you hit it wrong, you're going for a ride.
Yeah, so you clip the grass, and then the left side clips the rumble, and then you kind of slide out a little bit, so then the right side's on the rumble, and then you just kind of have to hit the gas, and then even if you go wide off into the grass to the left a little bit, you can actually, if you just lift off the throttle a little bit, keep the wheel straight, there's no risk of spinning out. Like, you just have to trust the car. And then, of course, the rumble through the hairpin, if you put the right sides on that, you could hold like 41 miles an hour through the middle of the hairpin.
I tried that in the hairpin, but if you get it a little bit wrong on the exit, it will throw you around too. So it's just you gotta hit the right spot.
It's a lot of finesse, a lot of little hidden gems on this track.
Road courses are finesse. It's like I always said, I said earlier in the broadcast, it's what I like about Sonoma. It's more of aggressive. You kind of have to attack that track, but you got to hit it with finesse. And there's those little points, like he said, about 8, where you come off there and you clip it. You just clip it. The car goes airborne a little bit, and but you almost straighten that corner right out. And little things like that. And some of the versions of Sonoma or Sears Point, or however you want to call it, because there's different versions out there that have different names. Most of them have that in it, and it's pretty, like he said, it's a way to get through the corner or get the car to rotate a little better.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest tricks. A lot of these newer road courses, there's grip on the rumble because they put a line in the track I&I for rumble grip and paint grip, and rumble is both rumble grip and the paint grip. So, if those are matched up right, then you're able to do that. If you were at like Game Infineon, though, it wouldn't be worth hitting the rumble.
Right. So, go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, that's weird. So the same track, but because it's built, probably like it's tweaked and changed around a bit. That they've changed. Doesn't look like it's any different. But you're saying you don't want to hit that in the Infineon version versus the Sears Point version versus the long version, the short version. Like, is that all I&I stuff, or is that physical, like, track modeling stuff?
So the track has to be set up that way. Like, it has to be defined in Sandbox that the rumble is considered a rumble grip texture and or paint grip texture. You could ask Tate about that. Tate would know more about that than me. But from the images I've seen of like a Sandbox screenshot and whatnot, that is typically how you would set that up. You would set it up in Sandbox through the PTF file, and then in the I&I you have to outline it.
Right, okay, yeah, because then you're designating grass, asphalt, sand, rumble, paint, like everything's got its own grip value.
Right.
So if you ain't got any more for him, Blaine.
No, sorry, I was reading notes and saying things at the same time. I
can pick my brain all night. I heard you had a long winner's interview last week. I heard, so you can keep picking my brain if you've got stuff.
No, I was going to say, we're gonna congratulate you on your win, and I'm gonna give you the floor to thank the people that got you.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm just cooling off. So. This track is exhausting, even though you're not moving around like you would in a real car. This track is a real exhauster, especially on like your ankles and your shoulders especially. So just want to thank Cody Lamas for letting me drive his car here tonight. Cody's been my painter now across NR for like the last 2 years or so. And he's given me a lot of beautiful paint schemes. We actually have ran this Red Bull scheme before at Fast and Fuel. So pulled it back out for tonight. Was thinking about maybe doing Kyle Busch M&M scheme from 10 years ago, but decided, I really like the Red Bull car. Let's Max Verstappen it up because I'm a Max fan. So got to thank Cody. Got to thank Cody for the beautiful scheme and this opportunity, and maybe I'll run for him at the other roadies. We'll see. I think Road America and the Glen are on the schedule, so we'll see how that all lines up. Got to thank everybody tonight again on the track. All those that I've raced against before, those that I haven't raced against before. Thank you for being courteous. That's great. Driver etiquette there. Being mindful of where the leader is and letting the leader by when the leader is faster. So thank you all for that. Thanks to Ben and all his admins for the league, especially Keith, Tate, anybody else that I'm missing. I think Jack does points. Got to thank you guys for the broadcast. You guys do a pretty great job. You've got your own unique commentating style. Some people might not like it. I say all power to you because it's good for all of us commentators to be a little different. That way we're not all blending together. So thank you guys for the stream. I'll be sure to watch it back here probably tomorrow and see how many times you called me Zach Roberts by accident. So
we need a counter. We should almost make a short video about how many times we did it.
I might take clips. I mean, I probably won't. I probably won't feel the need to do that. But
if you take,
it's
I might
good.
have to go back and watch it and take a count and see how many times we messed it up and put out like a little YouTube short. Because we can definitely make fun of ourselves. That's the name of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I got to thank my internet, my wheel, my pedals, my shifter, my arms and legs and eyes and sense of hearing. Just the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm winded. This track's tiring.
I bet.
Well, thanks for chatting with us, Zach. And yeah, man, congratulations on the win. It was a lot of fun to watch the clinic tonight.
Thank you. I just kept waiting for a yellow. I didn't want one the whole night, but I just kept waiting. It's got to come, right? It's got to come. There was a rumor someone might have flipped at some point. I was like, don't tell Keith. Don't bring out that caution.
No. Yeah, all that gap would have been gone.
Yeah, I don't typically have gaps that big in this game. You usually have someone pretty close to you, but Jack, I don't know if he told you guys, has his challenge that he's started this week where he has to try to win 5 races without qualifying or he's kicking himself out of the league.
Wow.
So he wanted to start at the back, and after 1 lap of traffic, I already had like 20 seconds on him. So that's the price you pay with a big field like this.
Yep. Yeah, it was a big field. 33 cars started.
A lot for a road course. Well, congratulations on your win. I'd like to, hopefully we get to see you back here kicking some butt again.
Right on.
Thanks, Zach. Have a good night, buddy.
See you, man. Thank you.
Zach
go.
Rogers, the machine.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how many times they call him Roberts, and there's a Zach Roberts that I've raced against too quite a bit, and it's
that's
that's
Ken
Ken.
Roberts' nephew, right?
yeah, I think that's how it goes.
So
it's
then you've got
it's-
Zach Roberts, Zach Rogers. It's like, I think they spell it the same too, the ZACH. I can't remember.
I messed up on his name a little bit though, but yeah,
Hey man, he still gets 185 points no matter what we call him.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And he did put on the clinic tonight. He just drove so smooth, so never dropped the wheel wrong. He had a really, really good race.
Well, and even pitting, like he's able to go in on a green flag pit stop, come out still in front, still 20 to 30 seconds in front of second place, and then Merkel would pit and be 50 seconds behind again. It's like even when the guy goes in the pits, they couldn't catch him.
No, he put on a good clinic.
Yeah, it's a fantastic race to watch.
I was
Even
very
last year
impressed.
was great too. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
great,
last year's
great
race
run.
was, like neck and neck for the last 12 laps. Last year's race was amazing. It was just a back and forth battle, and then there was a lot of great battles, but we had to kind of float around the track to find them. We were just looking at those intervals of guys who had close intervals. We're like, okay, we'll go back here to 11th and watch the battle for 10th, and we'll watch the battle for 4th, because Zach's walking away with it, But yeah, we tried to do our best, and thanks to everybody on YouTube for watching and interacting in the YouTube live chat as always. There's 130 people watching this thing tonight, so that's pretty cool. So at least that's what my stats are showing. They always change after the video compiles itself, but real-time views were 130.
Don't forget, come see us Friday night near PRO.
Yes, we are. Let's see. Where's that? Right there. Let's see. Yeah, Friday night, which would be May the 9th, primetime racing league at Talladega Super Speedway. The Friday Night Truck Series over there, run by Graham McDonald himself. So if you're down for some racing, I think that one starts around 9 o'clock. They changed their start time a little bit, but around 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be over there hanging out with those guys. It's the year anniversary. That's the reason we're doing it. That league's been active for a year now, so always happy to go over there and do some super speedway racing at Dega. But yeah, man, do you have any final words before we go to bed? Lock this thing down for another few days, get some shut-eye?
I knew it was probably going to be a great race. I didn't think it was going to go as well as it did. Just listening to you talk about, what how they did it last time, and I was very impressed. It was a great run. Good job, guys. I mean, the very few people set wheels wrong. You know what I mean? A couple incidences, but nothing major. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the whole field as a whole is fantastic. A lot of these guys, a couple laps down here and there, but they're not going into the same turn every track and flipping end over end. Like, there was a couple guys going off track here and there, but to have that many cars start a road course and everybody's just able to kind of find their pocket and race their own race, and there was no big catastrophic accidents or anything really to focus on. It was just watching people get around this track. It was a lot of fun.
Yep, I thought it was a great race.
Yeah, man. Well, I guess that's it for us this evening. This broadcast comes in under 2 hours. So thanks to all the drivers for putting on the show. Congratulations to Zach and everybody in YouTube land, of course. Thanks for subscribing to the channel and doing what you do, watching what we do, and hopefully we make it entertaining for you. So thanks again, Mr. Weston, for the assist.
No problem.
And we'll see you guys back here on Friday evening around 9 o'clock at Talladega Super Speedway for some Friday night truck racing. We're running, I think it's the Camping World Series 2015.
And then we're back on to the Maverick again next Tuesday.
At Kansas.
Yeah.
We'll be here. As they say, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.